another episode of the Unfiltered Love Podcast.
All right, so this is the second episode. It is very, very exciting to be back. I feel like the first episode just came out.
I mean, it did today as we're filming this, so not relevant as this is being posted, but we're so excited to get into some crap. We got some Patreon questions we're taking today, and it's pretty intense.
It's going to be a good episode.
But
first, I want to thank everybody who has gone and subscribed to us over on any of the podcast streaming apps. That's incredible. We are reading all of your reviews and your ratings that you guys are leaving us. So thank you guys
There's
so
some
much.
funny reviews.
There are. And honestly, that kind of stuff helps so much. So please do it.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, it makes us look cool in the algorithm, and then they promote our app. They promote our podcast.
Exactly.
There we go, on the app. So there's like Google Play, podcast app,
Spotify, Stitcher. It's on all the things.
and then on youtube.com/Jaclyn Vlogs on Thursday.
Exactly. Oh, and unfilteredlovepodcast.com has all of that information. Woo! And that is now live. So
exciting.
So that's pretty cool. So let's dive into a little bit of what we're going to talk about today.
We're going to talk about commitment issues.
Oh, and
why won't this guy commit?
Well, what?
I was setting myself up for that. I was so stoked to push that button.
Wow, that was really good.
Thank you.
So, we're actually taking this question over from our Patreon. So, if you don't know, this podcast and our vlogs are funded by the incredible community over on Patreon. So patreon.com/Jaclyn and David. There's a good amount of people. There's a powerful, small but mighty amount of people over there right now, and it's a really beautiful community of people that are already sharing their relationship questions. Some of them like pretty personal, and it's really cool to have a community of people that are down to listen and comment and respond to each other.
And we actually got a video question for the first time yesterday, and we'll respond to that very soon. So I'm really excited. We have some good ones today. But before we just get into this, I kind of want to give a little bit of my experience with dating people that have commitment issues. And then I want to get your perspective too, because you've had some commitment issues.
Man, that's right.
Mister.
Very, me?
You.
That's probably a little complex. All right,
It is a little bit, because it doesn't seem like you did on the surface.
Sure. And then like all, different ages or different areas of your life, and sort of where you see that, when it feels like it's the right time or whatever, that all plays into it.
Well, I have two major potential reasons why someone won't commit. I think it's either one or the other.
Interesting.
And we'll get into that. And I hope that I don't offend anyone. I always kind of worry about that. Like, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But I have to be brutally honest, because like I said, my biggest pet peeve is people who sugarcoat things. I don't ever want anything. I want to know the truth. I don't want anything to be like half told to me. I want to know all of it, and I want to know it now.
Nice.
So I ain't sugarcoating anything on here. So if you're expecting that, you can get out. Just kidding. Please don't leave.
Yeah.
Please
Do
don't.
I have commitment issues right now?
No, you do not.
Nice.
But I think because of how we are, it has brought to light that you previously might have had
Correct.
some.
But we're not even Facebook official yet.
That's true. What? Oh my God.
We're waiting.
What even are we?
As soon as you guys see like a photo of a thumbnail of me like proposing to her on a beach with a laptop in my hand,
We would never clickbait them.
You'll know that we are finally Facebook official.
We don't clickbait. We're above that.
Oh, maybe I should get a flash mob.
Okay, he keeps going back to this. So he hints at proposing.
Oh, what?
And wow, shocking. You hint at it, but you always say you want to do some like extravagant flash mob, which is the opposite of what I would want.
Girls love that. That one Bruno Mars song, they love it.
I don't want
think
that.
I'm gonna marry, and just a flash mob. Yeah, that's the way.
No, I don't want a flash mob.
Every girl wants a flash mob.
I don't.
No,
I hate attention being on me, which people are normally surprised about that because, I do social media. But in real life, IRL, I don't like people paying attention to me. I don't like scenes. I want to just be in the corner and have no one talk to me other than you.
Oh, that's nice. So will you tell me about some of your commitment issue past that I don't know about? Or maybe I do.
You know about it.
Okay,
you know about it already. You know way too much about it, actually. Yeah. You were sort of there
Was
for
I right?
it.
Oh.
Yeah, you were. You were there for it. So it's obvious that I have had relationships that, were with people that were a little shady, didn't commit. And it was confusing for me because they would commit, but then they would cheat. So the commitment wasn't even real, and that's a shitty feeling to be with someone and then realize that it was kind of all a lie, which is kind of how I ended up leaving a lot of those relationships feeling. And the only relationship I ever had that I wasn't like cheated on in was with a guy, and he wanted to cheat real bad. You know what I'm talking
I know
about,
what you're
right?
talking about.
Yeah, he wanted to cheat real bad, but
He was in love.
Yeah.
Not with you.
No, it wasn't me. He was obsessed with this other girl, and she just didn't reciprocate. So it was like all of this wasted effort. He probably tortured himself over it, but it was also really miserable for me because I felt like I was second choice. And I would bring this up and we would fight about it. And he was like, no, it's not, that's totally not what's going on. But it was totally what was going on.
Yeah, no,
You know.
Well, I saw it from his side, and I just know that he was completely head over heels in love with her.
Yeah, he still is.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We know.
Yeah.
It's shitty. I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those like shitty situations. And I felt like shit, because it was like a couple of years in total that I spent with this person.
This is one of your longer relationships too.
The longest in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, the longest one in LA. And it just like was torture for me the entire time because there was so much that I felt what wasn't real. You know what I mean? Like when you're with someone and they're pining over someone else, that's really, I should have left. I had to learn a lot of really hard lessons and date a lot of crappy people and feel like shit for a long time before like knowing what I wanted and like putting my foot down. But that was a miserable situation. So I definitely understand what it's like to date a guy that throws out almost probably every excuse that I could think of to not be serious. Like, oh, it's just I'm trying to focus on my career, which, lol. I'm just trying to, know myself better. I'm just trying to improve my social life. I heard that one once.
It's an interesting one.
With other women, I guess.
Oh.
God, every excuse in the book. It's just I'm not ready right now, or, I have problems from like previous, relationships, or, just previous examples of maybe of bad relationships, and that's freaking me out. I heard every single possible reason.
And you've always been a commitment person?
Yeah. For the most part, I do think there have been situations where I was in a relationship that I kind of knew wasn't going to work out.
Oh.
And it wasn't that I wasn't.
That's sort of the story. That's sort of my whole story the whole time.
Yeah, it's not that I wasn't devoted to that person while I was with them, but like I kind of knew it wasn't long term.
Or it could have maybe been with the right kind of character development.
That obviously, yeah, but that's another hard lesson I had to learn. Never ever date somebody for who you want them to be. Date them for who they are now, because most of the time they don't change, or they don't grow up, or the thing that you wish were different doesn't ever end up changing.
Yeah, that's a hard truth while you're in it to.
Yeah, because you hope. You always care about the person.
Yeah.
But then that there's that thing or things.
Yep.
So how do you relate to this?
Commitment issues in general?
Yeah.
I've always been very very focused on the relationships. But when it comes down to, I think, like the long-term commitment, personally, honestly, if I really look at myself, one of the things that is important to me, and I'm sure we're going to talk in depth about this in a future episode, is sort of my family, not their blessing, because I don't care enough, but I do. I wanted sort of the acceptance, I wanted the approval from the people that I trusted the most to say, we like you guys together.
Yeah, I don't know why you're so scared to say this.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm like traumatized.
I know, but you want your family to like the person you're with, and you want the person you're with to love your family, because the goal would be to become a part of the family.
Correct. And
So
I never have had that. And I was always on defense. I was literally like walking around the equivalent of, cowboys with like a gun on their side, I like always was trigger ready because, my parents didn't like who I was with.
Always?
Yeah. Yeah.
Always?
I mean, I can't go back to high school. Are you talking about now? You
Yeah.
trying? Oh, no. I said past tense. Speaking
Okay.
past tense. Yeah, we're good. My parents love you.
What's up, guys?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
up, David's parents?
They probably don't listen to this. It's all
Aw.
good. Yeah, it's fine. And so that was one thing. But also then the personality things that I was also hoping for the growth, be it whatever we would clash on. Honestly, I always look for somebody that's gonna really, really, really find, this is selfish, but find the things that make me the happiest and push me towards them. And in the past, I haven't had that.
Why would that be silly? That
not-
doesn't sound silly at
I said
all.
it was selfish.
That's not selfish.
I was just sort of referring to it from.
But I've heard you like put that down many times before.
Yeah.
I've heard you like many times before be like, I know that this is like crazy for me to say this, but like I want them to not put down my passions. It's like, wait, yeah, that also makes sense.
But it's not just put them down. It's like lift them up. Like really, I don't know, being a musician, just, and specifically to me, my job is weird. And I know you have it too, but mine is very vulnerable emotionally. And you have that as well. But it's tough in that sort of position to have a partner that can trust to help grow that with you. But then also flip it. I want to know that I'm doing the exact same thing for my partner.
Mhm.
And where I've had clashes in the past where I push them too hard. I push them too hard to pursue their passions and their dreams in the same way that. Oh yeah.
I just love this ASMR.
Yeah. So I would push them too hard with their passions and their dreams in the same way that I was pushing myself, and that would often cause a conflict. Bringing it back to the commitment thing. If I didn't have all of that, I didn't necessarily feel ready to commit. It's not an age thing. It's not like a money thing. It's a.
But that's confusing for you because your last relationship was a long one.
Yeah, like
5?
Yeah, I confuse. I had
That's
I
a
think
long
5.
And that's why I say on the surface it seems like
5.5
you
or
have no
something,
problem with
4.5.
commitment because normally a guy who's in a relationship that long, obviously he's fine with monogamy. He's fine with like being with one person and hopefully you're planning for the future, and it just seems like that. But then from the conversations we've had, it just seems like maybe there was always like something not quite there for you mentally for long term.
And I know that towards honestly the last like year, I don't even know, maybe more than that, of my relationship, I would find myself honestly I would find myself speaking with my closest friends, usually on a ski lift, but I would be speaking with my closest friends, and I would be unhappy. I would talk about the relationship behind the back of my partner in a way that I knew I was doomed.
That doesn't make me feel insecure at all.
Oh, no, stop. No, you want to hear what I sound like on a ski lift? It's ridiculous. I'm like a total, I'm so head over heels. They need to strap me into that ski lift so I don't fall off of it.
Aw.
And I don't even use the bar. I probably should.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. No, I don't. I've been riding ski lifts since I was 2. I'm good. I'm good. The head over heels thing though. But anyways, I would vent to my closest friends, and that was a pretty big red flag that there was a fatal flaw. And that was also playing in with why I wasn't able to commit.
Maybe we're different in that because I vent to my friends too about life, about work, about family, and that doesn't necessarily mean that all of those things are terrible.
Yeah, no, I don't necessarily mean vent in the idea of like venting, blow off steam, whatever. I mean like I would show my true colors of being like unhappy.
Okay.
Like truly, honestly, like candid, knowing that this information's not going anywhere. I'm in a trusted space to talk about it. Like I wasn't happy. And I would also find myself taking longer to get ready in the morning. And at this point in time in my life, I remember I would like shower and I would like have a place for myself, and I would just sit on the bed and I would just be sort of like sad. I'd be like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life.
Yeah, you told me about that.
And that was just knowing that the relationship wasn't what I needed from it, and I was probably too much of a pussy to make a change.
That's most people. That's me in a lot of my bad relationships because you get comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and it's scary to be confrontational with someone that you care about. It's a
Yeah.
big change, you know, it's a lot of stress.
And it's also a conversation that gets had, and I've had that conversation of, do we break up or stay together or whatever, and it usually has always ended in also the sort of pussy way of, let's work on our problems, which there's nothing wrong with. That's
not-
great. That's
yeah.
not pussy, but it led me, not that I wasted years, but like I sort of, it went on for a lot longer than it needed to.
Yeah. I kind of relate for different reasons, but a lot of times I stayed in things far longer than I should have. But I think that's a lot of people, and I think that that's kind of tying into the question that we got from Liz, where she, you know, was dealing with some commitment issues.
It's such a beautiful
And
question.
It
It's
really
so
is.
raw.
Should we read it?
We should.
Would you like to read it?
I'll happily read it. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, once again, we have this beautiful community that's supporting these podcasts and our vlogs and everything we're doing in the community, all based around this. And Liz is one of those patrons that showed up early.
And she's the first person that left a question.
She's the
It's
first
It's
question.
like so intricate. There's so many different things.
We could talk about this for like a million hours. But we shouldn't.
Million-hour
because
podcast.
I mean, we only have 4 hours left on this SD card. All right, here we go. Liz says, guess I should start. Sorry if this is a mess. Just broke up with my boyfriend of almost 2 years. He moved in after a year. He's 36, I'm 30. I have a great job and am fairly successful, I'd like to think. He had some personal issues and just couldn't 100% commit to the relationship and the future. Thought we had something great and talked about marriage at one point. Just wasn't fair to either of us if he couldn't give me enough and take care of himself. I was single for about 2 years before meeting him. How do I know when I'm ready to date again? How do I reconcile the fear that I'll never meet someone to my standards who I want to be with and who wants to be with me?
My goodness.
That is a beautiful question.
I feel for her so much in reading
I do
this.
too.
Like, it breaks my heart because I same. Like, and honestly, like, this is so hard because I'm so torn internally. Like, do I go bitch mode right now or do I stay sweet? Because, like, the bitch
Both
mode.
of them have to be addressed.
Yeah, because, like, the bitch mode part of me is like, what personal issues? Like, come on. Like, what kind of issues could someone possibly have that leads them to not wanting to commit? Because in my mind, when you have a partner that's loving and supports you, they're supposed to be there to help you. They're supposed to make those personal issues, no matter what they are in your life, easier because you have someone else to, like, talk to, someone to, like, help you through tough times. And a lot of situations, it's nice to have that significant other. That's why people are happier when they're married. That's why, statistically, men live longer whenever they have a loving partner. It's because you're supposed to have that person there to support you. So, like, I mean, I guess that it's kind of vague in that, just saying personal issues. I don't know what they are, but it's hard for me to imagine something where having a loving partner that you can lean on wouldn't be extremely beneficial. So to me, it sounds like an excuse, and it makes me angry because he's not just grow a pair of balls and say what it is. Like, why? Give me a real reason. Just personal issues, what does that mean? Like, I hate that. Like, it reminds me of the relationship I was talking about before, where I got literally every single excuse in the book. But none of them, I think, were true. The real reason was he wanted someone else, which I'm not saying that that's the case here at all. But for me, that was the reason. But I got excuses. So, like, I think it comes down to two things. I think a guy won't commit either because he's too immature and the timing in his life is just wrong, and it doesn't matter if it's you or literally anyone. He just wants to, like, run around and have fun or do whatever, and commitment is just not something he wants. Or there's something, God, I hate saying this, there's something about you. There's something about your relationship that he doesn't like, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's your fault or you're doing anything wrong. It just might not mesh with who he is as a person or what he wants.
Which plays into every commitment issue I had.
Yeah.
That's what I had.
Some people just don't work together. And it's not because you're not, an amazing person, an amazing partner, but it just might not be a good match for him. Or maybe he's too immature to realize what he has. Some people are just immature.
But she's in that moment right now. Sorry if this is a mess.
I feel so
Just broke
bad.
up, because at that point, you're speaking about all of this, like, you'll understand in time. It'll all make sense. But right now, she's
I'm
in
far away from this. Yeah. I just don't. I don't feel bad for the guy in this situation. Like, I'm angry.
Yeah.
Like, 2 years. Why did it take 2 years to get to the point of like realizing that he like couldn't commit? Is this something? And this is something I would like to know. Like, did he go into the relationship telling you that he wanted something super long term? Was that something that you guys agreed upon before starting to date? Or is it something that he, told you that he wanted and now he's changing his mind? Because that factors into it too. Because I've had people tell me, this is all I want marriage, I want kids, I want all these things. And then like later on, years down the road, they're like, oh, I don't know, like if I ever even want marriage and like kids, ew. Like, okay, that's not how we started this relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 36 and 30. And
Yeah,
she sounds like she's down. She's ready.
He's 36. Like, that's
He
old
needs to grow the
enough.
fuck up.
That's old enough to know. Like, he should know what he wants.
And he should also know to not, like, punk whoever he's dating.
She's a grown-ass woman. She's 30 years old. Like, he should give her the respect of taking things more seriously or get the fuck out. Which, I mean, I guess she kicked him out. But
Yeah, it sounds like, she broke up with him.
good for you, girl. It
Just
takes a
broke
lot.
up, yeah.
It takes a lot to put
Yeah.
your foot down.
Good
Like,
for her.
trust me. Like, it took me a long time. And good for you. Good for you for standing up for yourself. Because honestly, like, when you get to that point, you have to like lay down the law, otherwise they'll take advantage of you.
Yeah, and well, he moved in, so there probably is an element of that.
That's
And she,
frustrating.
I mean, we don't know the full details, but, she's got a good job, fairly successful. He moved in. He couldn't commit 100%. It's the maturity.
So I actually know someone who was in a really similar situation, and she let the guy step away, do his own thing, and then he realized what he had lost, and he came back to her. But by the time he came back to her, she was already happily with someone else, and she's like, "No, like, it's too late." So like, if you're with, I don't know, like, I guess if you're with someone, I would never ever want to tell someone like, "I'll wait for you," because I think that's a terrible message to send.
Yeah.
But if someone's saying that they can't commit, be like, okay, go, take time, like, figure yourself out, do what you need to do. I'm not going to wait around. That's what I would say.
Yeah, totally. So tearing into this a little further, she asked a few questions towards the end of it. How do I know when I'm ready to date again?
Oof.
That's a huge question
That's a
with
good
no
question.
real answer.
Should we answer it when we get back from taking a quick break?
Oh my God, let's take a quick break.
Let's take a quick break.
Let's do it. Jaclyn,
Yes, David. Why are you crying?
it's just that our podcast.
No, not the podcast.
You see, I didn't want to believe it at first, but I don't think we're getting enough ratings and reviews to go on.
No, but they're streaming on Tuesdays and watching on Thursdays, but not reviewing.
Yes, my love. I'm so scared right now.
Oh my God, it's getting worse. If only more people would go to Spotify and the podcast app and leave a review. Maybe they could save us all.
Before it's too late.
Subscribe and review.
Subscribe and review. And we're back.
All right. Wow, that was fun.
That
So, do you want to tackle this question first?
Oh man, how do I reconcile? Oh, sorry, that's the next one. How do I know when I'm ready to date again?
I would love to know this from you because I have some words to say to you, boy,
Uh-oh.
about how you were when we started dating. But go ahead.
Oh geez, what are you gonna say?
No pressure. No pressure. Go ahead.
And I have a friend, this guy that I was talking about going up on the ski lift with, sharing my heart with. He just actually went through a breakup and kicked his girlfriend out of their house.
It took him way too long.
Took him way too long. She was a squatter for the last 4 months.
She wasn't paying rent.
No.
And she started dating someone else right in front of him and was still
Yep.
living there.
Yep.
I have some words to say about her, but I'll hold back.
But anyways, him and I had bro time a little bit, and I was like, "Yo, dude, you on Tinder?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, just swiping all day."
Oh my God. He's probably on all the dating apps.
All of them. It's
Just
all-
on every single one. That's like the out of a breakup thing people do.
Yeah. Well, okay, so let's dive into how do I know if I'm ready to date again? Honestly, God, it's so complex because I think
You don't.
you don't.
I don't know.
And it'll probably okay, so you want to be at a place. This whole next phase of your life is gonna, I hate to be cliche, but it's really gonna be about being comfortable in your own skin again. It sounds like you invested a lot of time into this person. You probably feel like you've lost a little sense of self. I know I have felt like that.
Me too.
After every breakup that I've had, even this one, I was like, that's why those tapestries are on the wall, because those are my tapestries that I like.
Are we still talking about these tapestries?
Because I like wasn't allowed to use them for however long, and so I like was single again, and I like went to my box in the attic. And
Okay,
I, like,
I mean, I'm all about.
and I like opened this box, and like the gold, like it was like, and it was, and I was like,
wow, that's
and I
exactly what you
blew.
did in the last episode.
Oh damn it!
Exactly. Even though I'm all about you having your own individuality, and you can do whatever you want, but those tapestries take up the entire wall in the apartment.
Okay,
And
now we're on this conversation.
On this, I
again.
might have to agree with her. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
But
anyways, that's why I nailed snowboards to my wall, because I was like, this is decorating. So I felt a huge sense of needing to, this sounds cliche, fall in love with myself again.
Oh, gross.
Okay, sorry about that. But it's sort of true. I was unhappy with the idea of being alone. I wasn't comfortable with it. So that's definitely something to work on and work towards. And then there's no time. You don't need to say, all right, well, I need to wait 3 weeks before I can go on a date. You get asked on a date, go on a date. If you find yourself swiping, it's all good. It's all good. But if you get involved with anything, I think it's important that you keep the other person's feelings and situations and emotions in mind. You don't want to be like your past partner and sort of neglect the other person's expectations. And I do think that you might be ready to commit to someone or to give someone a part of your heart or whatever.
So she said she was, before this relationship, single for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one was for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. People have like different mathematical equations that they use to figure out, okay, you've been dating someone this long, you cut it in half and multiply it by whatever. I don't think that applies. I think it's
Is it
just,
a Venus moon or something right now?
I have no retrograde of
a lunar.
I have Aquarius.
Is it
Just
cricket? The year of the cricket.
right. That. Make sure you pay attention to all that bullshit. I don't know. I think that the most important thing to do is evaluate the last relationship. Think about what went wrong. Think about what you want differently in the future and what you want in general. Like, that's kind of what I did, because I had like kind of a revelation after my last relationship, and I'm like, I keep doing the same things. Like, yeah, I've been dating shitty people and they've done hurtful things to me, but part of the problem is me. Like, I'm making poor choices and I need to work on that. So I had to change the way I approached dating. I had to change the way I prioritized things. You know, you can't necessarily just go out and find someone who's like always just like fun, or always just like, oh, this person's exciting because of this reason. Like, think about what you really want. Like, do you want to just frolic around and have fun with someone, or do you want like a long-term serious commitment? Do you want to settle down? Do you want, more out of life? It just depends on what you're looking for. Decide what you're looking for. And that was hard for me. Because like I kept dating these people that I'm like, I like this about them and they have this great quality and that great quality. But if I really asked myself seriously with all these people, are they ready? Are they mature enough? Do I think they would be a good father? Can I see myself marrying this person? I probably would have said no to a lot of them. And I wasted time thinking, well, yeah, but like I can change them. I can fix this. I can fix that. But I think that you're ready to start dating whenever you really can like draw a line for yourself and be like, I refuse to settle for anything less than what I deserve and what I think will give me what I want out of life. And that's hard.
Yeah, and it probably takes a little bit of getting out there, and you might have to take a new profile photo or whatever it is, or but get out there and try to meet people, and I think that might help you. I think that you had told me a story about going on some dates and just wishing you were home with your cats.
God. You have no idea. Like these, I found different people, and they looked good on paper. They had like a normal job, and they.
Do you collect resumes before a date?
I have extensive conversations before I agree to meet with anyone in person. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. You were a little bit different because I already knew you.
Yeah, totally. That was a weird situation.
Yeah. We may have met on a rematched or whatever.
We might have met
we might have had
on an application.
Anyway, I would have extensive conversations before meeting with anyone. And then I would sit with them and I would just be so bored, and I'm like, yeah, they have a nice job and they're fine, they're nice, and like they have good things, but I'm not into it. So it's like I needed to find a mix of someone who had the qualities that I wanted, but I also was excited by. And that's difficult too. And I just kind of gave up. I was like, whatever. I'm just having fun. But a lot of the time, it's like a trial and error thing. You have to try. You have to put yourself out there. And a lot of the time, like it's like, oh no, I don't like this one. I don't like that one. I don't like that one. But then you find maybe one that you do like.
And and be open to going out and making some new friends.
You have to. I made a couple of friends, but there were many times that I went out on like a weird date that I would just sit there and they'd be talking about. There are a lot of brotastic guys in LA.
They're more brotastic than me.
You're not brotastic, my love.
Incredibly.
They all wanted to just talk about protein shakes and workout regimens or football, and like that's maybe great for some people, but for me, I was just so incredibly bored. I couldn't do it, and I would be sitting there just wishing I stayed home and put in a movie and cuddled with my cats and had a glass of wine. That would have been so much more exciting to me than sitting there with these people, and it was very stressful. And you don't have to date. You don't have to use apps to necessarily find someone. Like, you don't have to go out and search. Honestly, most people that I talk to that are dating or they're not dating, they normally find someone that they're interested in when they give up, when they stop looking, when they're like, I'm just never going to meet anyone, and then you do. So for me, I felt like I had to like kiss a lot of frogs, basically. Even though I didn't.
Wait, are you kissing frogs?
I didn't actually kiss. I feel really bad. A lot of them probably got a little led on because I would go on maybe a second date, but just never. I just couldn't. And
the amphibian thing
anyway,
was just not your.
I had to spend evenings with a lot of frogs before finding my prince. But all it takes is one. All it takes is like one really good guy.
Dick pic.
Mm-hmm. You've never sent me a dick pic.
All it takes is one very nicely lit. Sorry, I had to ruin a nice moment with a joke.
I bet if I hadn't been using those crappy dating things, I still would have met you. We still would have reconnected because mutual friend's birthday party. We were both there, and then we ended up here that night at the bonfire.
Oh.
Yeah. So we still probably would have been like, hey.
It's true.
It's possible.
This is true.
It's possible. So I don't know. I wouldn't.
I'd like to think so. I'm not really like is it called a fatalist? Is that what that is? Or like destined to be? I don't know my words.
Yeah. I don't really think about that either, but
I don't think we're like destined. I don't think we were like Hold up. Sorry.
What are you about
I don't think
to
we
say?
were like born and like God was like this man's rib and this woman. Anyways,
that is how it happened.
That's okay. Well, there you go. But I couldn't be happier. Couldn't be more excited about everything that's going on.
Could I? Yeah, we've talked about this.
And I think it would have. You're right. I think we would have crossed paths again.
It's just it makes sense because we have so many mutual friends and we've run into each other so many times.
I understand.
There's no way with both of us being single. There's no way at some point we would have been like.
Okay, so question: in your dating thing, how did they take things like your job?
Oh, not well. Not well. Some people thought it was cool and they'd be like, oh my God, I'm going out with someone that has followers online, which was really such a turnoff. And then some of them would have been like, oh, just never ever, I want to never be in anything you ever do, which I don't know if I could live like that. Like my ideal situation would be to kind of share my life and be open with my experiences to a degree.
That's exactly what we're doing.
I know.
Wow.
It's perfect. But I couldn't imagine, I can censor things, but I couldn't imagine completely taking every important personal moment of my life away from what I do. I just can't make that separation entirely. So I think that was a problem for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think that now I'm probably just about to brag about how perfect I feel for you. So hold me back if I get too intense.
No, do go
But
on.
I do think that that I have a really good understanding of everything you've been through. I've like also seen some of your bullshit as it happened, like I had talked about in the last episode, and I was like, I didn't know at that point that I was gonna end up with you or whatever, and I was rooting for you on the sidelines, being like, man, this girl's awesome, and I don't know her that well, but I like see that she's going through some shit. But then also I understand your job and what you've been through with how you grew up, and like maybe even sort of how you sort of found your do we say faith, not faith, whatever, how you became you.
How my belief system
There you go
changed.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I think I relate to a lot of that stuff. I have the same, and this sort of it all sort of goes back to Liz's question, but all of those things that we were advising Liz to look for in a future partner. For me, like I talked about myself earlier, was, you know, the family thing and the passion and the drive, and somebody that makes me a better person, and somebody I feel like I make them a better person, and like that sort of back and forth of like the tennis match of being in a relationship. I'm so in it. And it's really exciting because I feel like I can run faster because of you, and I feel like
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like when you have someone that you want to be with that works for you, any like obstacles or personal issues you have in your life should be made easier.
Yeah, and
so whenever I hear someone use that as an excuse, it's just really hard for me.
And
it makes me angry on your behalf, Liz. Like I want to put this guy in his place. Like he doesn't realize what he has, and then obviously he lost it. And he might come crawling back, but I mean, you don't wait around. No, do not do that.
No, don't do that. Well, and also we never know. You know, maybe things could change, and you might accept him back and whatever. But like at this point, he's gonna have to prove himself to both of us.
I say no.
I vote no as well.
No,
unless he sends me
listen.
Either like a basket of chocolate flowers.
No, okay. I've taken exes back before, and it's never working out.
No.
Never working out. Did I say working out?
You said,
it ain't work out. It's never worked out. English.
Yeah.
It doesn't normally happen because I think you're waiting for something to change. You're waiting for someone to, and so non-committal ex that I talked about earlier in the episode, whenever we broke up, he came back, obviously. You know this. It was like break up, get back together, break up, get back. It was really unhealthy. But he convinced me that I've changed.
Oh.
I've changed. I've changed so much to the point that I found a place for us to move in together because I want to take this to the next level.
Yeah.
I had a great roommate. You know, Nikki.
Oh, Nikki was your roommate?
She's my roommate.
Oh, no.
I
thought other Nikki, but then
No. Yeah. She was my roommate. She was amazing. Was like one of the first good roommate situations I'd had in a long time. And I left that to, you know, do this thing because I believed that a change had occurred when it had not. And very shortly after, like less than 3 months, I was like, okay, this isn't working. And we broke up and I moved into the place that I live now. So, yeah, it's just not smart.
You signed a lease together?
Yeah.
And then you broke a lease like 3 months later?
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Yeah.
You got to learn. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked about this earlier, about how it feels to like date someone and like they do. It's just you're in a shitty situation with someone and you have to go through all of these different, basically learning exercises with them through dating them. And you change that person, you make that person grow up, you give that person experiences that they can reference in the future to be better for the next person.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating.
Yeah. If he does go, well, he'll go on maybe and meet somebody, or you'll go on whatever.
He did.
And
he hasn't changed.
Oh, you're talking about I was talking about Liz for a second.
Oh,
but,
I'm still talking about myself. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, but that's a thing. That's why you don't take people back. Because even a lot of the time, whenever they say, "Oh, baby, I've changed. I've done changed," no, they haven't. No, they have not. But that's just me being jaded. Like I said, our advice may differ because I'm jaded. Do you feel differently than me? How? Like,
I agree with you.
You do?
I do agree with you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't think he would.
No, I totally agree with you on this, and I feel for her.
I
And
do.
I'm mad at him.
Liz, you send us a DM on Patreon. Let us know where he lives. I'm rolling up my sleeves if you can't see me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick his ass.
Oh, we're gonna do
I'm
that.
gonna
We're gonna
kick
do
his
that.
ass for you, Liz.
That's what we're gonna. So yeah, if you're a patron at a certain tier, we will kick any boyfriend or girlfriend's ass
We need to
that
add
you
that.
would like.
But I kind of want to take Jade's question too because it ties in.
Okay, I'm down.
You okay to do that?
Yeah.
All right. So Jade asked, "How do you both cope with your ex-boyfriends and girlfriends? Do you keep in touch or have no connection with them at all?" And the reason why I think this is good to take after Liz's question is because a lot of the time, like whenever you break up for something that's not a huge major blowout fight, like, oh, he won't commit, so I can't handle it anymore. I'm cutting it off. We're breaking up.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the situation I was in, and we got back together twice.
Oh.
Because we stayed in touch.
Just like still texting me like, what's up?
Just, I don't remember exactly, but we stayed in touch, and we ended up just getting back together, but it was never healthy. It was a super unhealthy situation. So I'm of the mindset that it's not a good idea, but that's from my experiences. I feel like you have different experiences.
Oh, well, I got sort of lost in your like timeline just because I know you pretty well, and I was like, I wonder how they got back in touch. And then I was thinking maybe it was Angle, maybe it was your cat.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
It was Angel.
Angel, yeah.
Was that it?
One
he like
time.
texted you and was like, "Hey, I'm feeding this cat Chick-fil-A."
Yeah, so I was in my next I was in my next
Did I
relationship.
get it right?
You did for one of
Oh
the
my
times.
God.
For one of the times, he found a cat.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm feeding it like fast food, and I'm like, oh my God, don't do. I'll be there in a minute, right?
I was watching this cat just like eat Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I brought over cat food, and I that's how I adopted my cat Angel. Hey, I got one good thing out of that relationship. I got my kitty cat.
Yeah,
She is floofy and cute, and I love her. And I thought of her on many shitty dates that I was out on, thinking, man, I could be home cuddling my cat.
Yeah,
But-
see her little paws holding that
but-
burger.
Oh God, she was so sick. She had like a respiratory infection. She was all kinds of mess. She had worms. She was like starving to death. The Chick-fil-A didn't cut it. I had to literally cut like her fur off because she had so many knots that I couldn't brush through. Anyway, I love that cat dearly, but yes, that is one of the times that worked. But in my opinion, I think there are maybe sometimes when you could stay in touch with an ex if it's super, totally, 100% platonic, never gonna happen again, just friends, and whoever you're with now or going to be with in the future is fine with it. Good luck.
Yeah, I don't think you have that. I could like.
It depends.
It depends. It totally
depends
depends.
on who.
Totally.
Because there are some that I haven't met, so I can't even like really comment
Yeah.
on that. And then there's one that I'm kind of still friends with. Like I'm talking
So-
about David's exes, and then there's one that
No, you're talking about my
definitely
exes?
there's one that definitely does not like me.
Oh.
So
yeah.
that one I think probably not.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But yeah, I don't know. What do you think that it's healthy to stay in touch with exes? Like,
Well, yeah. So I think based on Jade's question, which by the way, thanks for being a Patreon
yeah,
supporter.
thank you, Jay.
By the way, she lives in Finland, so maybe if we tour Europe, we could do something like that.
Very cool.
Yeah. But I think she's referring to like immediate exes, and
Oh,
one thing that I
gotta cut that shit off.
Yeah, I think you do have to cut that shit off. And I think that one thing that we sort of experienced that I actually feel like I wasn't conscious enough about.
Oh God, here we go. I know where this is going, and I'm immediately uncomfortable. But go ahead.
That's fine. Look, if we want our Patreon supporters to share their
Yes, I know.
intimate stories,
I signed up for this.
we are sharing ours.
Okay.
And this was like a real thing, you could call it an issue or whatever, but it was
it
like
was
a real,
definitely an issue.
Sure.
Yeah, but I can go ahead. I can elaborate on it. But go ahead.
Please.
No,
Yeah.
you go ahead.
And anyways, what I'm referring to is keeping up old pictures on social media, on Instagram or whatever, you know?
Like intimate ones, like ones like anniversary with my love, or like a kissing picture, or like something, romantic or
Sure.
intimate.
And where I am sort of coming from with the, I want to say like innocence of it,
Mm-hmm.
is like I wasn't So
It's so hard for me to let you plead ignorance because you're such a smart person.
I don't do smarts.
Yeah, you're smart. So when you're like, I didn't know better, I struggle with it. But go ahead, continue. But I do think because like, listen, like you're like you're maybe one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life, but you're definitely
Fuck
the
off.
most. No, seriously,
Screw you.
you can't be mean to people. You don't have it. Like you don't have the mean bone. You
Your
can't.
hair is fading.
It definitely is.
It's always because of all the
Aw.
Hawaii beaches we
Did
were
you
on.
try to be mean to me just
Yeah.
then? That's so cute. I love you.
I love you too.
Okay. No, you're like one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. But it's difficult because you can't do that. You just can't do it.
No.
So like, I don't think that you were being malicious in keeping things like that up. But it did make me feel like maybe you weren't over it. And I was struggling with that. I wasn't like mad. I just was uncomfortable because I felt like there were so many things in my head that I was observing from you that made me think that you weren't at a place that, see, and this ties into Liz's question. I didn't think you were ready to date me. I didn't think you were ready to date.
I'm ready. I was ready.
You're ready now.
Hell yeah.
But you were like, borderline.
I was fine. Well, thanks.
But
But
you were still wearing like a ring that she'd given you. There were a lot of things. I'm not gonna go into all of them because it's too personal.
I got the tattoo removed.
You didn't. He had no tattoo. He had no tattoo. But like, yeah, I was thinking like, why would he keep that up? Like, if you wouldn't keep a photo up in your house, you shouldn't keep it up on social media. That's how I view it.
Interesting thought. I'm still gonna have to plead.
I think it's honestly, and when you start dating someone.
Yeah, there you go. That I know exactly where you're going.
Yeah.
It's worth taking that shit down. Not only just it doesn't mean necessarily that you're not over it or whatever. In my perspective, if you leave it up, because for me, it's like these are memories from my life, like whatever.
I get that, but it wasn't just that for me with you. Like it was an accumulation of different things, and I'm like, this is kind of adding up to me feeling like maybe you're not
true
where you need to be.
However, removing those pictures is so worth it. Any like memories or like,
did you feel better? Was it cathartic?
Yeah. Any memories or any reason that you think you're keeping those pictures up, because their memories are like my friend who just had his breakup, he's got a photo of his ex-girlfriend.
Well, he took down a lot.
He took down a lot, but he's still got one, and she's like wearing a bikini, and it's scandalous.
Well,
and
he does
kept it up.
He does photography.
It's a good photo, and he kept it up because it's got the most likes out of all of his pictures.
But tell me, whenever he meets someone that he's really into,
it's so not worth it.
She's gonna see that photo and be like, "Oh, that's like a nice. Oh, that's your ex. Oh, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm out."
It's not. It's worth. If you want to be ready to date someone else, I don't care if this is like emotionally or whatever, your Instagram also has to be ready. Like it's not worth dealing with that with the new partner and then having to sort of justify it when there's no way in hell you can.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, I've been there. And it doesn't. You really need to. It's worth getting rid of it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I didn't really think about it very much, but I remember it was when we first started kind of talking, and I was at a convention.
You checked me out.
Well, we were talking.
Okay.
We'd already like slept together, so yeah, I was like looking at your shit.
Okay,
anyway,
cool.
I was hanging out with some of my friends, and they were talking about their own stuff, but it related to me. Like, yeah, oh my god, I would never date anyone that had, pictures of their ex up, and I'm like, oh shit. And I started looking at your stuff, and I'm like, oh shit. And they're like, yeah, this is what that means if they're doing that. And I'm like, oh god. And I started freaking out, and then that kind of did not help my mental state with that whole thing. But I would love to have one of those friends, Blair. I would love to have her on a future podcast so she can kick your ass.
I got her. I got her vote of confidence. She gave me her blessing.
She did.
I got her blessing.
Eventually. She was my most difficult friend to get to like you. But
that's fine.
Anyway,
I knew I would get it. I knew I would get it. The same.
Confident are we?
I have never been so confident.
Oh.
Yeah. No, but
okay.
Yeah.
Tell me, because this episode is about commitment.
I'm out. I can't do the rest of the episode.
You can't commit to the rest of the episode. Because it's about commitment. You saying all of those things, why now? Why me? And what, from the perspective of a guy?
On behalf of all men?
Yeah, speak on behalf of, no, but just for you, like one person's example of what happened in your life, or what circumstance did you find yourself in that led you to a place where now you're thinking so much more seriously? Because we've had some pretty intense conversations about the future
We've had tons.
and what we
Yeah.
both want, and you've told me, unless you lying, boy, I'll kick
I'm
your
not
ass.
lying.
Okay, that you said you haven't had conversations that intense with people before me, so I'm wondering what is different for you. Did like a light go off? Was it because you hit a certain milestone in like age?
No.
Was it a certain accomplishment you feel like you passed with career stuff?
No. I could definitely take more of that. Okay, so the first thing I think of is I have a friend who's young and he recently got married. And I asked him, I didn't want to be too upfront, but I wanted to ask him, like, you're pretty young, like, why are you getting married? And his response was, when you know, you know. And I let it fly. Because in my head, I was like, well, I feel like I've known before and it didn't work out, and like, you're young, and like, however, more than I've ever felt that, I feel that and vibe with that completely. So
Why? That's what I'm trying to find. Like, what is the thing that
it's for me? It is a combination of things. I'm so happy. I'm not compromising at all with fun. We're so fun. We do cool shit all the time. Like, you have the same interests as me. We have so much fun, and we film it and then put it on the internet, and that's cool too. And as a result, like, the career stuff it's complementary. My family loves you. Your family, who has all of the grounds in the world to not trust your judgment all.
Yeah, you're right.
I think likes me because of how much I care about you. But I think they like me.
They do.
Yeah, no.
It's weird. And then normally they, like, the conversations I have with my parents about people I'm dating normally is not a fun experience for me, but that's like oddly different now.
So at the beginning of it, I spoke about fun, and that sort of represents this like electric part of us, and the fun goes so much beyond just like us doing cool shit together. It's like literally like this sort of chemical electric, like, I estimate that this fire can burn for the next long ass time. Like,
Wow.
there's like this, there's a lot there, right? And then the other stuff is like the logical stuff of like, do we see eye to eye on like whatever? What does one raise a child? What's important to me? What's important to you? Like, what's family background stuff? Like, the idea of kids, the idea of where to live, the idea of like, there's so many little things, money things, like work things, aspirations, all of those like on paper.
And were those lacking before?
Yes.
Okay, and so
Those were
that's
all-
what's different.
Those were so missing.
Something, okay.
The on paper was
Because I'm trying
someday.
I'm trying to.
And then also the other shit, the electrical shit, was like, we might have enough kindling here to last. Like, maybe I'll find more kindling in the woods someday.
I'm pressing this because I feel like anybody watching this who's going through something where they're with someone that won't commit, they want to know why.
The kindling. There's not enough.
No,
You not enough wood
No.
in the tree for the fire.
I don't think that's true.
And the squirrels.
I don't, because that puts the blame on the person who's struggling with this. I really think it's like the person that you're dating. It's two options. Like I said, either they're not at a place in their life where they can commit to anyone, or there is something about the relationship that is not something they want forever, which then screw them if that's how they feel about you. Find someone who feels the way about you that you feel about them. Find someone that you are the ultimate catch. Find someone that sees you and they're like, yes, this person I can be with.
And I totally think that that's
yeah.
a big, yeah.
Yeah, and then she asked in her thing, like, how do I know when I'm ready, and how do I think she's struggling with knowing that she'll ever find someone that she's happy with.
Yeah.
And like, how did she word it? How did she word it exactly?
It was really good. I got it right here. It was.
How do I reconcile the fear that I'll never meet someone to my standards who I want to be with and who wants to be with me?
Woo. How do I reconcile the fear
that
I'll never meet someone to my standards who I want to be with and who wants to be with me?
I can relate to that feeling so hard because whenever my last relationship ended, when you're in that moment and you're feeling so low, you feel like you will never meet someone that you're even interested in again, let alone someone who is good for you, that makes you happy, and can actually commit and last. And when you're in a relationship, and sorry to say this, Liz, whenever you're in a relationship with somebody that won't commit, you then have a fear from that point forward, dating someone, even if they're amazing, you have a fear that that person still won't be able to commit, even if they do commit. But your next relationship, you're going to have a little bit of insecurity there because you maybe it doesn't matter how amazing you are or how much you've put into the relationship you had, it didn't work out. And now you have this thing in your mind that it doesn't matter how good you are, it's never going to be enough for someone. But you have to get over that and you have to like be open to it. And maybe you will find someone when you least expect it. And you never think that you will until you do.
And then you're like, wow, we should start a podcast.
I really didn't think
That we would have a little baby 6 pound, 4 ounce podcast.
No, I didn't think I would meet anyone. I didn't think I'd be happy again. I really didn't.
Oh, that's so sad.
But when you
totally deserved it.
But everyone deserves to be happy.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And whenever you come out of something that you put so much into that you think is going to work or that you have hope at least for, and it doesn't, it's heartbreaking. And you never feel like you're ever going to get over it. You never feel like you're going to get better. But it's cliche, but time does help. And then like I said, all it takes is one person. Meeting one person that fits with you. And the older you get and the more experiences you have, the more you're going to like fine tune your tastes and realize what you want and what works for you. And that will help.
Yeah.
It will. And I just hope people like go through my stuff and look at how miserable I was.
Yeah, you were. And it's all mostly on record. It's
all my shit's out there online. So like if you can be that girl and then be this girl, like, I feel like that should give you hope that you can turn your shit around too. It's possible. You just have to like try to keep in mind that you can get there, that it's possible.
Be open to it. Keep your guards up a little, but not too much. Just a little.
Just have standards. Have standards and do not let yourself fall below those. Don't make excuses for anyone. You're only hurting yourself. So just, I don't know. I hope that was helpful. Shit. I know I feel like it kind of got depressing for a second.
No, I mean, I
need more wine. I have a glass of wine.
There's something like very raw about that topic and about that question. I know you and I both really relate to it. Yeah. I know our viewers hopefully are going to relate to it. That's real life.
Yeah. I think the moral of the story is if someone won't commit, walk away from that person.
Yeah.
You have to
walk away. If you're ready and they're not, peace out.
Because there is someone else out there that is ready, that you could meet. And the more time you waste with this person that won't commit, you're potentially losing out on meeting that person, or you're delaying meeting that person.
Yep.
And don't do that to yourself.
Yep. Put your figure out what you want and get it.
Most of my experiences, when someone is a certain way, they don't change. So please, please, please don't waste your time. I feel like I wasted so much of my life.
Wasted? Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that. I know whatever you learn, shit. Blah, blah. Don't make me puke.
Yeah. I mean,
I wasted my time, damn it.
You did waste a little time.
I wasted so much time. But yeah.
Well, it's good. Thank you so much for submitting the questions, Liz and Jade. That is awesome.
Have we droned on long enough?
We have droned right on.
Shall we wrap this podcast up?
I think we shall.
You gonna commit? Are we gonna Facebook official or what?
In a future vlog, I think we certainly can.
I can't believe it. It's happening so fast.
It's so fast. So with that, make sure you share and follow us on any and all of the podcast apps that are out there. If you are confused or curious where those apps could be, you can just go over to unfilteredlovepodcast.com. All of that is right there on that website. This comes out every single Tuesday in audio form, so go and listen to it there first, and every Thursday on video form.
Yeah, make sure you guys send in those questions on patreon.com/Jaclyn and David, because I had a lot of fun answering these. These were good. You guys are good. And we have a video question we can respond to soon.
Yeah, maybe next week. Yeah, we have some good ones coming in.
Yeah, so
we're
make
very
sure
excited.
Stay tuned. A lot of good shit coming up in the future.
Do you have anything in the world of Jaclyn you would like to tell everyone about?
I'm sending out Patreon postcards next
Ooh.
month. So yeah, if you guys want, I'm signing postcards. There's a picture of me in Hawaii from our lovely romantic trip, and I'm signing them and sending them out. And you can find that on patreon.com/Jaclyn, Jaclyn. How about you, David? Anything good?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I just put out the audio of a new single just last week, I believe. The song is called Kaleidoscope.
Woo!
And the music video is going to come out this weekend.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
So that means when this podcast is out, that means the music video did just come out. So head on over to my YouTube channel. I think there's a link in the description, Future Sunsets, and you can go and check it out and leave it some love.
I subscribed.
You subscribed?
I did.
Oh, wow.
What do I get for that?
5 points. Speaking of, did you see on our last episode, we awarded people points for listening.
Someone tweeted me, they wanted to know how they could cash in their 5 points.
So you actually, at this point, you are now about to get another 5 points.
Everybody 10 points?
Everybody who is watching the podcast right now, you can add another 5 points to your tally. We are at another 5, so now there's 10 10 total.
Wow, you're good at math.
That we have.
Wow.
Yeah, you like that.
Yeah, I like that. What's up?
Okay, so
all right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. This has been fun.
This has been really fun.
This is a good episode. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Shall we go put food in your face?
I'm so hungry.
Yeah?
Yeah. Let's go get food. Hey, it's Taco Tuesday. Let's go do that.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching, you guys. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Thanks for rating, reviewing, subscribing, and see ya in the next episode. Goodbye.
Goodbye.